Hi folks, this is Dan with Dan's Retirement Journey. I'm Philippines bound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Well, we're inside the house today. The house still hasn't sold yet. It's in escrow, but we're not exactly sure if it's going to make it out of escrow. So this is the third or the fourth go around. It's been 100 days since we listed it. It's pretty amazing that we've entered into these agreements, and yet each and every one of them thus far has fallen out of escrow for one reason or another. I think part of it might simply be that the cost of housing has gone skyrocket here in Sacramento, and people have underestimated the amount of money they need in order to close the deal. And so hopefully we'll get it this time. We vetted this one out pretty carefully this time, and so we're very hopeful that this deal will close. But I'm here at the house. I've got a few things to do today. Mostly it has to do with cleaning the place up, getting the last bit of things out of here. I've got probably a couple of hours worth of work, and just want to make sure that we're ready to go once they give the green light, that the deal will close within a couple of weeks or so. Anyway, the house was recently appraised. We're waiting for that appraisal report to come back. In this particular contract, they did negotiate the price of the appliances. They wanted that to go with the house. When the appraiser came by, I was here, and they let me know that we have a couple of safety issues that have to be corrected. And so one of them is that this water heater here has to have two straps on it. So I worked right away and slapped that second strap on there, and we got that all taken care of. You can see I've been doing some work. There's some paint on the ground, and I had a couple lights on last night to make it look like somebody was living here. So let me discuss the other safety issues that were found. Oh, I got the termite report up here. So the termite inspection has been certified. So they did the work they needed to do, and I got a certificate of completion of the work. That was not an inexpensive thing to go through. I think probably I spent about $2,000, or if not more. One of them was this carbon monoxide detector here. And so that's a battery operated one that I got from the Home Depot. And so now the thing about the battery operated detectors here is that you're required to have one outside the sleeping area of every room. And so so this is the living room. Of course, it's not a sleeping area, but if carbon monoxide were to build up, this probably would be one of the first places that it would go off, I would think, or the kitchen. The kitchen most likely would be first, because that's where the concentration of gas would occur. And we come down this hallway, and you can see down here that I've got another one. This one is an AC with a battery backup. So we'll see if they go for that. Oh, by the way, I've been working on the bathroom, and I should say Minnie put a lot of work in this. She actually helped by painting and primering this bathroom. It came out pretty good. I've got to admit, the paint looks pretty good here. Let me get some light on the subject. I don't know, there you go. So this is the guest or the hallway bathroom. We had to repair the drain down here so it didn't leak. And I did that myself. I didn't have to pay anybody to do that. And we painted it and cleaned it up a bit. You can see I got quite a bit of junk in here that I have to remove today. Hey, while I'm doing this, just like to talk a little bit about what's going on at the house in the Philippines, because some of you have asked about the progress there. Oh, wait, here you go. Here's another one. Here's another carbon monoxide detector. And I'm wondering if they're going to make me put one here on this wall as well. And I was thinking about maybe perhaps putting it up here above the door, or perhaps right here where it doesn't have to be so visible in that ledge right there. Let's head over here into the master bedroom. I have minimal light going on in here. I didn't think about turning the light on before coming in here, and I gotta look around for the remote control. That's how that fan light operates. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait. I've got these pot lamps here that might shed some light on the subject. Yeah, that's a little bit better. We cleaned up this bathroom a lot, and down here we had to put a water dam in so that the water wouldn't end up on this laminate flooring. Laminate is not the best product I've discovered to use in a bathroom. We've already had a little bit of fading going on there, but this water dam should help out a lot in preserving the floor for a couple years anyway. And down here we had to reset and reseal the toilet. So that's all been done. And then the other thing that occurred was, let me see, right down here, you could see where there was a mini bar. Let me move this bucket out of the way. Okay, there was a mini bar here, but it also can be a vanity. It's stubbed out for plumbing so it's ready to go at a moment's notice. If your wife or girlfriend needs the vanity put there in place and it needs running water, hot and cold running water, and you need the drain line that's already in. But the problem, I think, with this was that the appraiser said that it needed to be completed, and I didn't know what he meant by that. So he said that because it's a safety issue, take he was referring to sewer gases or something like that, I had to cap the drain line that you see there, and also take off the water valves that were coming out there, the hot and cold. I had to get my hacksaw out, my trusty hacksaw, and I had to cut those off, and then I capped them with shark bites so that they were sealed up. So you could see I did a pretty good job. I put the bucket there so that in case it leaked, in case I didn't put it in correctly, I wanted to make sure that it was properly sealed, and it was. As you can see, there's nothing down there. It's dry as a bone. Everything is sealed up, and you've got that ready to go. So those are the types of things I've been dealing with. I'm starting to move things here into the backyard, getting ready to dispose of them, and things that have any value at all, I'm giving to my friends. Gardening tools and the like, shovels and those types of things. So I'm starting to pile it here. The paint, of course, will go to the reclamation center. You can't throw paint in the trash. I wouldn't think of doing that. But I have to go ahead and make sure that I consolidate everything into this 5-gallon bucket over here that you see. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, so what we're talking about is what's going on with the house in the Philippines. Well, as you may have guessed, the money has dried up. So far, Minnie and I have put about, I would say, $45,000 in there so far. And we still need a couple things done. We still need interior painting and some tiling and work on the plumbing. There were a couple leaks in there, and we also need to paint on the inside. So although most of the things have been done on the outside, the inside is going to require a little bit more work. Here I've come around and shown you the outside or the front of the house. So rather than keeping everybody on a shoestring, we just decided, oh, we better call for reinforcements and see if her family can help out a little bit by providing some labor. And luckily, we were able to come up with a skilled carpenter. The skilled carpenter, of course, is one of Minnie's cousins, and we're paying him to do the rest of the work little by little, and we'll need some help. We're going to need help from an electrician. We still have electrical lighting and plugs to run, and we should get to that probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And so if you've noticed in the videos that there hasn't been much progress in the house, it's because the labor that we had there went on to another project, because they could also detect when things were winding down, and they certainly didn't want to pass up any opportunity to get work, because we're in the midst of the COVID global pandemic, and these guys, man, they're going to go where they can find the work. And so that's what they did. This apple tree is just amazing. Keeps producing apples. I'm telling you, I love this tree. I'm going to miss this the most. But, it got hit hard by the sun. It's been really hot in Sacramento. And so you could see that there's sunburn. And, I think if this were an apple orchard, you most likely are going to be covering these apples with something, maybe something like a mesh screen, so you can minimize the amount of sunlight that gets exposed to these apples. I've been watering them every day. I want them to get as big as they possibly can. This one I just touched, and it just peeled right off. It just fell right off into my hand. So, apple trees, trees are smart, when it gets too heavy, they're going to start dropping their apples. And you could see here, I've got bunches of them, and I think I'm going to end up picking some today, even though they may not be ready. And that's because otherwise they're going to drop off on the ground, and they're going to rot. Okay, so that's what's going on with the home in the Philippines. Budget so far is $45,000, does not include the $10,000 we paid for the land. And so we basically have $55,000 in cash money invested in the house in the Philippines. And it's taken almost, I guess we're coming up on a year in order to build. And that basically is because, we had times where we had to shut down because the city of Baybay Leyte was in lockdown. As a matter of fact, it's in lockdown now. And so I'd have to say, oh, look at these beautiful sunflowers. That's amazing. So I'd have to say that we're lucky in that Minnie's cousin is able to make it into work. Him and his wife, who's acting as the helper, live very close by, and that helps out a lot. So that's basically what's been going on at the house in Baybay City, Leyte, and that's what's been going on at the house in Sacramento, California. I would say that I'm having a tiny bit of challenging luck, if you will. Not necessarily bad luck, but it has been a little bit challenging trying to get things going in both places. I got to tell you that trying to build a house virtually is pretty difficult. It's a pretty difficult thing to do. And so, but in any event, we're doing the best that we can. We've hit a couple of bumps in the road that we may talk about later. But I would have to say that the lot so far, the building of the house, was well managed by Minnie's brother-in-law, Jell, who's done an excellent job on handling the budget, and also for purchasing the materials and being very, very aware of what we were seeking in terms of materials. We wanted to go, we didn't want to go low quality, but we wanted to be somewhere in the middle. Preserving the money and getting the best value for the buck was of key primary importance. It is going to be our retirement home, and most likely, you know, the last place that I will live before I pass on to the next world. You know, people have told me that I'm a little bit pessimistic when talking about retirement as being, you know, the milestone before the final episode of a person's life. But anyway, the whole thing is that, you know, it's important to me to capture it on video and then present it to you on YouTube for the entire journey, not just part of it. The leaving of Sacramento and the going to Baybay City, Leyte, the entire journey up into and including one day my demise. And perhaps even then, Minnie's taking over of the YouTube channel. Look at this. These are Filipino grapefruits. I'm not sure exactly what you call them. I don't know what the name is. But I think they crossbred with this orange tree over here. And so they have a very, very unique flavor. So here's this orange tree. It's starting to produce fruit. One of the things I'm tasked with this morning is making sure they get plenty of water. Yeah, because these things I don't think you harvest until wintertime. Okay, folks, well, that's a wrap up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, this is Dan at Dan's Retirement Journey. We're Philippines bound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Minnie and I truly appreciate it. Bye-bye.